where does that place Synchros in this argument? We've seen Fusion, we've seen Xyz, we know there's a battle that ensues. But it would be ridiculous to exclude Synchro summoners who have such powerful monsters. I mean, Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Dragon. I mean, I could go on for days. Where does that place them at? Are they the enemy? Are they neutral? You know, are they directly involved in war? Are they siding for some benefit? You know, what we do know is that they're definitely not on the side of the Xyz, or at least not for that character. I really can't just take that character and assume for everybody. But we definitely know that Synchro user, if he is a Synchro user, is against the Xyz. What we do know is that Heartland was destroyed. You know, so that, I mean, it's all interesting. You know, and there's some new Pendulum cards that are raising some questions for me. You know, I'm wondering, you know, Rainbow Dragon. There's a Crystal Beast Pendulum card. You know, where does that place everything? So, well, we do know, we do know that typically whenever certain cards start coming out, we start to see these cards also reflect in the series. We knew about Dark Xyz Rebellion Dragon. It just came out in the new, I think, what's the news packs? Duelist Alliance? New Challengers.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so the new Challengers pack came out with Dark Xyz Rebellion Dragon. We know on the flip side that there's already a deck. You know, they've already released that card. That card's a release now. So we're going to see cards that are being released at around the same time to be in the series as well. And there's some really big meta decks that have not appeared. For instance, Shaddoll monsters, right? This is what my guess leads into, okay? So we have Gusto cards, which have been released slowly and gradually over time. We've had the Flame Veil cards, really didn't get too much attention, but they got released over time. And there's a bunch of decks that are kind of counterparts of Shaddoll cards. And I don't know if you've noticed this or Wikipedia'd it, but it's true. If you look at Gusto Falco, it's a tuner monster with 1400 defense, 600 attack, and it's 2 stars. It's the counterpart of Shaddoll Falco, which also has very similar effects, except they're more targeted toward the graveyard. As you can see, that it's a dark version. Things that you should notice are that all Shaddoll monsters have strings attached to them. You know, for me, that's an obvious sign of some kind of dark corruption, some possession of the cards. You know, so what I'm thinking is that maybe there will be a Flame Veil player, maybe a Gusto player, maybe whatever decks that are also in there, like the Spirits, you know, and that person, those people seem to be like the bad guy, and behind that bad guy, we'll see another main bad guy. And I think that main bad guy is going to be whoever uses the Shaddoll cards. I don't know whose faces to put on these X's, mostly because there's a lot of characters that we haven't met yet, like all the other students that are out there dueling that we haven't met yet. Or any outright dark characters that have really revealed themselves like. And I think that, you know, that main guy's going to start to pop up soon. And obviously they're going to be a Fusion user because we still have this unlabeled Fusion user who's obviously from another place. We haven't placed him anywhere yet. And I think that Fusion user may be the person who uses the Shaddoll monsters. And whoever that person is going to be the pawn of another meta deck that's getting even more attention than Shaddoll cards right now. You know it, the Quilly monsters, or the Quillfoth monsters. And what led me to this conclusion is the artwork. I'm a big artwork guy when it comes to cards. I love the art on cards. It's exciting to me.
Wow.
And what you'll notice is if you look at the cards, there's a different attribute card for every Shaddoll monster. But the one for Earth is El Shaddoll Construct being, you know, it just kind of seems like she's sitting in a chair. But really, the chair has wrapped her. And if you look even further, it's not even a chair. What you'll notice is the card is Apocryphort Tower. And Apocryphort Tower is somehow entangled the Shaddoll card. I just think that that those cards are too intertwined. You know, people do folklore between cards like Dark Ruler Hades, like all these other different cards that kind of have other ties to other cards. But I think the tie is too strong and it's too coincidental that we don't have a bad guy yet. and there's all these questions between Pendulum, Fusion, and Xyz coming up. So I'm thinking that whoever is over the Quilly monsters is going to be the main bad guy. But I'm going to tell you guys to just look out for some of these cards that are coming out because they raise questions, you know? Who convinced them to destroy Heartland and what was the motives behind that? Based on that one, you know? I just, you know, I don't know what to really expect. I'm just as excited and clueless as you might be. We're all really being put in the dark on this. I just can't wait to see what happens in this series. And make sure to like and share and subscribe to our channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, if you have any input to put in, maybe you recognize the card I didn't see or you saw something I didn't, it would be very helpful to the, you know, conversation. Maybe if there's a forum about this, throw this on there because, you know, this may enlighten someone else who may have the pieces, you know, to this conversation to keep this conversation going, you know, and to add something meaningful to the conversation, you know. This is Jmike from Hard Headed Gaming, and I appreciate your time. And yeah, and if you didn't know, I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Thanks.